I want to.
Welcome to the Sonic Collective. It is December 2018, and we are reviewing our picks for the month of December. And this month, we decided to look at 4 soundtracks that matter, something we generally don't do as soundtracks. This is Scott Coates. It was my pick this month. I'm in Bangkok, Thailand, and with me, as always, are Scott Gregory, Ellen Dupuy, and Darren Scott in Calgary, Alberta. How are you guys doing?
Hey.
Good, man.
Yeah, doing well, thanks.
I was telling the guys I play fantasy football, and to our listeners that play fantasy football, they'll appreciate that I am in my Super Bowl and heavily with a sound lead, and I'm about to win $1,000, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Cha-ching.
Well,
yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
I am shirtless with a fan on and the patio doors open in Bangkok to stay cool.
It's comparable.
So this was an interesting month, and I think that the range of picks were equally wide and interesting. Hey, who picked, was it Scott Gregory? Did you pick Romeo and Juliet?
I did.
Let's start there. Tell us about the album.
You tricked me. You tricked me. Yeah, it's... I mean, we were really looking... Yeah, it was a really great movie. I really enjoyed it. I really wanted to capture a couple different elements of soundtracks where you have a couple really big songs that get pulled in. You have songs that have appeared actually in the movie itself that were created for it, and that tied kind of the movie to the period that it was made in. In this case, the 90s. Baz Luhrmann's movie itself was ridiculously 90s through like the cinematography and scripting. And yeah, I thought the soundtrack came out that way as well, too. It had a number of my favorite artists on it. Garbage, Everclear, the Cardigans, Radiohead, all really big names in that moment. Some of them still really big names. And
What was it came out again? What year?
96, wasn't it? 96, 97? Yeah. Yeah, so it was right just in that sweet spot in the 90s. Where you could get some good rock, some good pop, smash it all together, throw it in a movie, and watch Leonardo DiCaprio die.
Yeah, if I may jump in. I unfortunately didn't get to rewatch any of the movies, so that was kind of my plan, was to watch the movies that went along with these. I don't know how many... Who watched Romeo and Juliet? Did any of you give it?
No, I only got to see the Greatest Showman.
It was on like a couple weeks prior, which is what put it back in my mind. So I had watched it before we had said it. So
okay,
Yeah.
but I've seen it.
movie
I've seen it
several
like a
times.
dozen or so times in my life. I'm a big Shakespeare fan, and I'm a big Leonardo DiCaprio dying fan. So
So you love
Interesting.
Titanic?
Titanic is amazing. I've only seen that scene from Titanic. I like watching him languish in junkie torture in the Basketball Diaries. It's all good. There's so many options out there.
Well, I only saw this when it came out in the theaters like many years ago, and I was a DJ at the time, so I remember this album being rather big. An unfortunate thing is I have an iTunes membership, and there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 songs that you can't listen to off the album. I don't know why. They're blanked out.
Really?
Country thing, yeah. Not here.
Yeah, but it took me back a bit. You know, like
Yeah.
Love Fool obviously was the big hit. I remember as a DJ, like Love Fool was really, really big. And it's a great mix of music. Like I probably will watch a movie again. Like I like Everclear, and then even like 1 Inch Punch and Gavin Friday, bands I don't really know well, but the music is pretty, pretty raw, and it's a really eclectic, cool mix of music. So I did enjoy listening to the soundtrack, and I probably will have to go back and watch the movie.
Nice.
Yeah, I agree. It's funny you mentioned that you were a DJ at the time, because one of the things I remember about it was I was at the same time bartending as well in Backstreet, and there was a few albums you could put on, and usually compilations, like soundtracks, things that you just like before it got busy, you would just put on the album and let it play end to end. And I remember like Big Shiny Tunes, you would always do that. But I do remember this soundtrack being one of them. And and liking it at the time, but I kind of forgot about it. And I actually texted Scott at one point. I was in Edmonton last week, and I put it on, and I will admit, like now that cannabis is legal in Canada, I've gone and bought some, and I
What?
bought some of the Tragically Hip. They realize they own a part owners in a company called Up Cannabis, and they have one called the Meridian. Oh, funny about that. And I will say it went very well with that soundtrack, and I just tripped over it. I thought it was amazing. It really took me back. And I'll admit, like I'm one of those people like. Everybody likes what they like, and does what they do. And I've never been a big Radiohead fan, but I got to admit, when I heard
Talk show host,
it blew me away. I was like, oh my God, that is a really good song. And I agree too. I really liked, Cardigans are on there too. And I even like that Little Star as well. Little Star. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but I just totally like it took me way back. I completely forgot about this album and how good it was. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thought it was a fantastic soundtrack.
Yeah. And kind of like off the back end of it, right? Like Mundy, I had never heard of Mundy before this. And outside of like the big hits, To You I Bestow, I really liked that song. That one caught me. And it caught me how much I liked it again, because I'd kind of forgotten about it. And that made it back into rotation as well, too. So the back half, where you have some that are a little more weird, a little less well-known artists. Sorry, any Mundy fans, if you think of them as well known. But that one, yeah, I kind of echo your statement there as well, too.
Cool. Alan, what did you think of it?
I actually really liked it. I loved the movie as well. I think Baz Luhrmann did a really good job of making Shakespeare palatable, especially when it was sort of required reading material in school. So I think maybe I probably could go back and watch the movie again and partake in a little bit of that Meridian and enjoy it even more. But
all right, it's a good one.
For sure. The album, though, phenomenal as well. There's a few standout tracks. Like for me, number one, Crush by Garbage. I remember when that was getting
great tune.
Loads of radio play. And that, I think, to this day, that's still one of my favorite songs from the 90s.
Yeah, great tune.
I forgot entirely about Everclear and how much I enjoyed them until I revisited this soundtrack, like Local Gods, banger. And Scott, I had a similar problem as you with that. I use Spotify primarily for my audio consumption, and there were a number of tracks that were unavailable, so I had to resort to finding it on YouTube. And I'm not sure what's up with that. I know sometimes certain artists have disputes with their label, and so it gets pulled from the more conventional places you can find them. So I'm wondering what happened there. But that Angels song by Gavin Friday, I don't recall ever hearing it anywhere else other than the soundtrack, but that was a good one. Yeah, there's just everything in this album was really good, save for there's like one or two tracks I don't think I would revisit, but
cool.
Really overall solid.
And how about your pick, Alan? You picked The Greatest Showman. Tell us more.
I picked The Greatest Showman. I'm kind of a fan of musicals, but not really a fan of the super highly choreographed dance numbers or anything. So for me, this was kind of a weird find that I gravitated to. I watched the movie last year and was just completely blown away by how well done it was. All the music in the soundtrack was used in the film. So if you haven't seen the film, they probably don't make as much sense, or it's not going to be as meaningful. But hearing Zac Efron and Hugh Jackman sing their asses off while being, playing around on a trapeze or whatever is pretty crazy stuff. The caliber of vocal talent that these people possess was what really, really kind of struck me. Being a karaoke guy, I hear a lot of people sing, and I hear a lot of people try and sing these songs, and nobody's ever done it any justice. So. Greatest Show, fantastic movie, but I think the soundtrack's the best part of it.
Yeah, I'll jump in. I liked it too. I kind of alluded to it. I do like kind of live theater and some musicals and stuff. Now, some of them can get a little cheesy, and I think, with, what was that? what was the high school movie with all the singing there for a while? I can't
High School
remember.
Musical.
No,
Glee?
not. Yeah, Glee. Thank
Oh,
you.
okay.
Thank you. Yeah, there you go. But I mean, I think for they kind of they smashed it down everybody's throats there for years, and I think everybody got sick of that kind of
Yeah.
thing. But you know, I think right now it's in a bit of a time where what was it? L.A. Story was a musical too and did well at the Academy Awards. Like it's starting to try and make a comeback, but I think it's a bit of a lost art form, and I did really like it. And I always said I have a bit of a man crush on Zac Efron. I think he's hilarious and super talented, you know. And I did watch High School Musicals with the kids and stuff, and like them, and you know, and like no, I appreciate the talent. Like kind of what Alan's saying. And for those who don't know, too, Alan is an unbelievable singer. If you've never heard him or sing, he's probably the only one in this group that actually has some musical talent. But
It's true.
I can see why you like that, Alan, and I liked it as well. You know, I thought. You know, The Other Side was a fun song. That's one kind of Zac Efron. And for those who don't know, it's really the story of P.T. Barnum and Bailey, the circus, right? Like how that all came to be. I don't know the accuracy of the actual story related to the movie, but it was good. It was entertaining. I really liked it. I did see the movie, and I tried to listen to it without the movie and kind of struggled a bit. And I got to say, when I saw the movie, it did come together for me, and I really enjoyed it. Anyway, Scott Gregory, what do you think?
Yeah, I didn't watch the movie, so maybe there is a layer that's missing. But I actually did enjoy it. I have a misspent youth of watching like Phantom of the Opera and a bunch of other stuff that has managed to roll through town. Les Mis is one of my favorite, and it shows that things can go horribly wrong when you let people who don't have a background in singing do musicals. But this, thankfully, was not one of those cases. It's not like Anne Hathaway. Well, who was the other guy in that one?
Yeah.
Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe. Both of them kind of broke my heart on that one. But no, I really liked like when the Zendaya Zac Efron duet, the Rewrite the Stars. That blew me away. I thought that on its own was worth the entire album. But yeah, as far as show tunes and a movie soundtrack kind of mashup go, I thought this was good. I enjoyed it. I probably will get around to watching the movie at some point. It just hadn't happened in this month, but yeah, I'm always really, really surprised that Hugh Jackman can sing and dance. I just expect claws to come out of his hands at any given moment, and when he puts on amazing performances in other roles, using other skills, it always blows me away. So, just judging him on his voice again in this one, even coming right off the lead song, you have to be like, "Holy crap, this guy's got chops."
For sure. And I think he was actually in a Baz Luhrmann musical, if I'm not mistaken. I think
Oh,
it was called
really?
Australia. Yeah.
Oh,
seen it,
was
but-
that him?
Yeah, I think so.
Australia was
Pretty
good.
sure. Pretty sure. It was both. It was
Makes
a Baz
sense.
Luhrmann film with
Makes
Hugh
sense.
Jackman. So
Now I have to.
things to check out.
Yeah, makes sense.
Scott Coates here. Yeah, I struggled. I am not a musical guy. I can't. I really don't like watching musicals, and I have a tough time. So, but I will watch this. Alan, you've now piqued my interest enough. I will watch it. But coming up to the kind of Christmas break, I didn't get around to it. I got through the album about 1.5 times over many listens. I'd listened to a few tracks, and I just couldn't do it. Like, full points again to Hugh Jackman. Like, wow, you're right. Like, action hero, good-looking guy, singer. I mean, rescues people out of the surf. Then I just read that he's taking these songs on the road, right? They're going to do a global, like, tour of him performing these songs live. So,
Yep.
Oh, really?
seriously,
Totally.
yeah, seriously impressive performer. But I've got to see the movie, even though I don't like musicals. Then I think there'll be a bit more depth and meaning to the whole thing, which I'm sorry I didn't get to it. So I'll watch it. Album on its own struggled, but I may enjoy the album more after I've seen the movie, which is kind of the whole point to the soundtrack round.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think you will. I think you probably will. Again, like I'm not huge in the whole musical theater thing, but this one just I couldn't help but be impressed. So
Yeah, and I appreciate the pick, Alan, because it added variety to this round too. Like, you know, Train Spotting and which we're going to get to here, and Romeo and Juliet were like just a collection of songs. And I picked Superfly, which is one guy, but same thing, musical. Like we've at least covered some genres, so it's
Well,
good.
Darren, as you're speaking, why don't you tell us about your pick?
Sure. Yeah. So I picked Superfly. So I'd seen this movie. I think I mentioned it in the write-up that years ago now, but I just thought it was super funky. The movie's kind of cheesy and stuff, but I always like my funk and kind of soul, and it's good. And I mean, Pusher Man and Freddie's Dead and Superfly, like big songs that probably anybody would recognize right away on their own, but realizing it actually came from this kind of blaxploitation film that was released under the same name in 1972. And interesting, I think I put it in, but the soundtrack actually outsold the movie. It doesn't happen very much, but it really did. And I mean, it's really known. It's like 69th all time in Rolling Stone, but it's in top lists all the times. And really, the influence from it came from. It was one of the first, not necessarily soundtracks, but really an album that really covered it from the, not the hero's perspective. It's easy to make a song like "I'm the best" and everybody's feeling great, but this one, the first time, it was like from the street and it was more from the victim's perspective. So this whole album is really from a victim's perspective on like kind of how it was in the streets, for, Black people in America at the time in the late 60s, early 70s. So it really is a story. And like the list of people influences is crazy. It's like James Brown, Sam Cooke, Marvin Gaye, like even Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, Elton John, like they cite it as like it changed the way they thought about music. Even Sam Cooke, who is like a well-renowned like soul man, if you know that song, but like he did songs like that, but then he started to change. And even James Brown too became, instead of just fun, super funky songs, they actually started to address social issues. So it's known for that, to really be one of the first albums to break through and not just be super fun, happy music, to be like, wow, this is what it's like on the streets and the social problems of the day. So I think I latched onto that a bit too. But yeah, I mean, so Curtis Mayfield, I didn't mention that it was him, but obviously so. Yeah, so I guess, what did you think, Alan?
I really enjoyed it. I have not seen Superfly. This was the only movie in our month of reviews that I have not seen. But I think I probably should, because again, just like with Greatest Showman, I think maybe it'll make more sense. Because from my perspective, like all the songs are about getting high and drugs and the perils of doing and dealing drugs. And interestingly, a few of these songs I'd actually heard before. I don't. I don't know why or where, but like Pusher Man, for example, was, as soon as I heard it, I'm like, oh shit, I know this song. I don't know why, but I know this song, and I had not seen the movie. Super funky music though. Even the instrumental stuff was kind of cool. I remember throwing on. I was playing like Grand Theft Auto or something at the time. I was listening to this. I thought this is kind of perfect. Because I'm going around shooting people and making drug runs in the virtual world. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. Very funky.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of funk as well too. So when I saw you pick this, I was really excited. There are some standout tracks on there as well too. I think I hadn't seen Superfly in quite a while, but it definitely just syncs up perfectly with the feel of the movie, with Curtis Mayfield's kind of activism in the background as well too, with his involvement in the civil rights movement and using his music inside of that as well, telling this story inside of the movie and getting across the impression that it is dirty. It's not like this glamorous thing that's happening on the street, and that mothers crying, babies dying kind of thing. And it's I was really impressed. I think it works on its own. Obviously, because it's sold like a bazillion copies, and just all around threw me into a funk in a good way. I have a tendency to lean back down into funk, and this pushed me there. I think I texted back to you that this was my favorite pick out of the four, simply because it threw me down a rabbit hole again, and I love it when that happens.
And God, I feel like I really failed being the one that had the idea to do soundtracks, and then I didn't watch any of the movies. I've never seen Superfly, but Scott, you just made a good comment. Like, it's standing on its own, right? And I think all four of these soundtracks do stand on their own, whereas some soundtracks really only go with the movie. And you're right. Like, there's a lot of songs on here. I'm like, oh, I've heard that song. Like, I knew Pusherman, but then a lot of the other ones, I'm like, oh, I've heard this. And Darren, you saying the narrative from like the bad guy's point of view or the victim's point of view, like I really started listening to Pusherman. You're like, oh yeah. And then I remembered Ice-T used the sample from that on one of his songs from the Power album.
Oh yeah,
which
yeah.
was huge for me as a kid. So that was cool. And then it also got me thinking of that song. I think it didn't come out till '84, so 12 years after this. But White Lines, remember that song?
Oh yeah. You like the Duran Duran version, or?
I haven't heard that version, but I mean, it talked about hustling in the street and stuff. So I was like, I bet you this kind of influenced that too, right? So yeah, definitely enjoyed the album on its own. And now again in the new year, I've got to find a place to rent, I suppose, these movies and have a go. But interesting pick, and I love funk, so good one.
Yeah, and it's funny. I didn't even touch on it, but yeah, heavily sampled by hip hop and rap. Obviously, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, LL Cool J, Coolio, just a few like, and in pop too, they use it too. I know Vanessa Williams and I think Whitney Houston and others. Yeah, sampled it. Yeah, cool,
good one.
All right, well, I think that leads us back to you, Scott.
Yeah, so this, I got to admit, I didn't have to think long at all about this, and maybe it was a cop out that I didn't think of something. That took me a bit longer, but this goes back to 1996. It's hard to believe Trainspotting's 22 years old. Wow. But this is an album. Again, I was a DJ at the time. There was a lot of hits off this. But I remember when I first heard it, there was a lot of stuff I didn't know. Like, I don't think I knew Nightclubbing or Lust for Life by Iggy Pop. I certainly didn't know a lot of the bands like Pulp on this or Elastica or Left World. But I still listen to this album a lot. Like, and I love it as an album, as a collection of songs. But when I listen to the album, I've seen the movie 30 times probably. So it also deeply connects me to parts in the movie. Like Lust for Life, if you've seen the movie, you remember them hauling ass through Edinburgh after feeling something at the beginning. Like probably my favorite song off this, strangely enough, is, I really like A Final Hit, which is they're just on a bus going to London on it. And I mean, Born Slippery by Underworld is incredible. But the one I really think I like the most, and I'm drawing a complete blank here now, is like 11-minute song. What the hell's it called? I'll come back to it. Anyway.
The Brian Eno?
Like the Trainspotting song
Dark
itself?
and long.
Dark and Long. Exactly. Dark and Long.
Right.
Like I have that on some running playlists, and like that comes on, it's like 11 minutes, and I just sort of like really, go into a bit of a zone. But yeah, this one, as far as connecting to the movie and the moments in the movie, to me, I really can remember every moment in the movie that the songs were in, and I think it's great. I really enjoy it. So why don't we throw to Alan?
Yeah. This, believe it or not, was actually the album I had probably the hardest time with. And that's only because a few of the tracks didn't really resonate with me. Like, for example, Nightclubbing by Iggy Pop. I recognized the song from having seen the movie fairly recently, but on its own, I didn't really dig the track so much. So that's just an example. But they also pull from such a wide variety of different artists that, for me, just some of them resonated more than others. But I mean, I'm listening to this and I'm going, oh yeah, okay, I remember this. I remember this scene in the movie. There was some really iconic ties back to it. So it was good. It was pretty good. Let me think here for a moment. There was one song by, I think it was Joy Division or whatever. I don't know if that was
New Order.
Was it New Order? Yeah.
Yeah. Temptation.
Yeah, I really liked that one. That one was really good.
I like that too.
And then, how do you go wrong with Brian Eno? He's a genius. So I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah, it was good. It made me want to watch the movie all over again. I don't know that I would listen to the album again, but certainly the movie.
Okay, cool. How about Mr. Gregory?
I love Trainspotting the movie. I also love the album, not only because of the tie-ins, and you can really remember, like I've seen a number of times too, right? So being able to recall those scenes and enjoy it from that perspective as well. But I do enjoy me some British music. So for me, Elastica, Pulp, Blur, New Order, all of that was in my wheelhouse before the movie. It's interesting because they're not all the tracks that I would have put on a playlist if I was picking those artists, but because it's tied in with a movie and it's got that extra layer to it, and they're artists, I think I enjoy them a little bit more because of that. I think Born Slippy by Underworld is just ridiculous. It destroys on a level I can't even convey. It just takes you to, this energy level and just stays there the entire time, and you eventually collapse in a pool of sweat if you're dancing to it. Iggy Pop, not a lot to say about him. The man's really good. And so the lead off Lust for Life, right? It just kind of sets the tone for the entire album and kind of goes in through there. I find you could probably use this out as a workout album if you wanted, I guess, right? Like the energy level just stays constantly high, and I don't know. Beyond that, like I don't know what else I could say about it. It's just
Okay,
it's a moment in time for me that I really enjoy.
cool. Darren Scott.
Yeah, great soundtrack. I love this one. I think, Scott, you probably knew I'm a big fan of Train Spotting as well. And it's funny. I mean, I liked it at the time, but, in the last 4 or 5, dove into music maybe even more intense, and especially even punk. And it's funny, I'm actually reorganizing my album collection, and I have like 6 or 7 Iggy Pop albums. And I realized, I'm like, wow, I have a lot of Iggy Pop. And I realized I really love Iggy Pop. And I've become to respect him more and more
Yeah.
over the time. So, I mean, he has 3 songs on this, and it's funny, he said nightclubbing. I actually realized that was written in the 76, 77 by Bowie. Him and Bowie were like just wasted in Germany for like a year
Berlin.
together in Berlin. Yeah.
Couple
And
years.
yeah, I mean, there's epic stories and things from this time, and they vaguely remember them, but that was one of the songs that came out of that era. So that really, kind of plays for me, and I love it. I can't, I mentioned, Brian, that, Deep Blue Day or whatever the song is, and I can't think of Swimming in Poop. So every time I hear that, I'm just like, that's all I can think of. If you haven't seen the movie, you'll figure it out. I like Primal Scream on there. It's funny you mentioned New Order too. I love New Order back in the day. Joy Division was maybe a bit before my time. I've grown to like them now, but I like New Order, and I thought this was kind of their last, big hit. Their newer stuff is okay to me, but I really like their older stuff like that. And Lou Reed on there too with Perfect Day, and I mean,
Yeah.
Velvet Underground fame and Lou Reed, just classic. Love the soundtrack. I think it's awesome. Definitely a must listen, especially for those who like kind of alt and British, punk and rock. Fantastic.
Definitely.
I hope you guys enjoyed this round of picks. And again, I'm really sorry because for me, the big one on my list was to watch the movies to kind of find the connection between the songs and the movies, and I didn't end up making that happen. But I'm going to over the next couple of weeks. And Alan, the greatest, probably kudos to you to get me to watch The Greatest Showman because I wouldn't have watched it. So
There you go.
It's good. It's good.
Hugh
let me know what
Jackman
you think
owes
about it
Alan
when you-
10 cents for royalties.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully I'll be doing some Guys and Dolls style dancing around my living room while watching it. And,
There you go.
yeah, I look forward to it. So thanks everyone for listening to this different round of picks. We'll be back with something for January. We are undecided what it is for now. So for now, adios muchachos and happy New Year.
Buenos dias.
Merry Christmas.